Hey guys, Austin here, and welcome to the video. Today, we're talking about a book called Superfans by Pat Flynn. And I really like this book. I'll tell you just to kind of get to the chase here what the main thesis of the book is. And it's this: cultivating a small, highly engaged group of superfans is far more valuable than having a large but passive audience. So, what does this mean? Basically, you do not have to have some crazy big following in order to make a massive impact on Earth. Something as little as 1,000 superfans can be much more valuable than 1 million passive people that follow you and know who you are. So we don't need to be getting too concerned with what are known as vanity metrics. So if you're posting stuff online about your mission or your business or whatever, when you're posting online, if you're not getting, the views that you want, the likes, subscribers, whatever it might be, those are vanity metrics, and they're definitely things that are worth measuring, but they're not the main metrics that drive your impact. What drives your impact is the change that you're having on the people that are seeing the information that you're putting out. And so even if we're not seeing the biggest numbers that we'd like to see right now, that doesn't mean that we're not making an impact and helping change the world, even if our numbers aren't super big. So that's why I really like that, because I think that gives a lot of us, hope and a reason to keep pushing and moving our mission or our message forward. So from the book, there's a handful of things that he talks about that are ways that you can help cultivate and grow your own super fans, right? Following of super fans. And so I'm going to be walking through what some of those things are in the book. And this is coming directly from Pat Flynn. And this is his advice to us. And by the way, if you can get a copy of this book, you can just look it up on Amazon or whatever. And it's definitely worth a read. It's not a super long book. It might take a couple hours to read through it. But if you're looking to grow your own following of superfans, then this might be one that would be worth your time to read. So let me go ahead and just get into what some of the information is. So the first one is learn the lyrics. And what we want to do, and what he's suggesting that we do, is understand and use the language of our audiences in the way that they use to describe their problems. Basically, we want to be using the same lingo, the same language, the same verbiage, the same words that our audience is using, right? And our target audience is using. And just to kind of keep this thing simple, it's probably just going to mean be yourself. Because a lot of times when we have a mission and we're, trying to do something, we're usually reaching out to people that are similar to us or have a similar past like we do, or they're trying to go to the similar place that we're trying to go. They have the same similar interests that we have. So this is all very, very common. And so we don't necessarily, and you can read the book and figure out what's best for you. And I don't want to put any words in your mouth or in Pat Flynn's mouth, but kind of my interpretation here is that, okay, a lot of times our audience is going to be very similar to us. And so really it's just going to come down to being ourselves, right? And using the normal communication. That means we don't necessarily need to, when we're talking or putting out content, or we're, even meeting with somebody face to face, we don't have to put up this facade, right? And put on this different character because we're meeting with them for a reason. We basically just need to be ourselves and talk the way that we usually do. Okay, so that's number one, is learn the lyrics. Number two is break the ice. And a great way to help cultivate your super fans is by sharing personal stories and relatable experiences. Stories sell, right? A good story helps forge emotional connections, right? And so if you're looking to get more dedicated people that are, we'll call them super fans because that's what they're called in this book, but basically just people that are really engaged with you. A great way is just to, again, be yourself, share stories, tell people things that you've done in the past that maybe you regretted doing, but how you constantly worked to improve yourself and the moves that you made to get yourself out of a past problem that you were in, right? And how you did that and what it was like. People can relate to that, right? When we're online these days, a lot of times people seem like they're perfect, right? Because we see just a picture perfect image of a glimpse of someone's life, right? A moment of someone's life. But, that's not as relatable. What's relatable is the hard stuff, the rise, the fall. That stuff is what's relatable. So don't be afraid to share your story and your message. And when you do that, you'll be breaking the ice. So the third thing here is to encourage participation. So what he's telling us that we should do is ask questions to engage our audience and encourage them to share their thoughts. So if you're posting something online, or if you're giving a talk, or you're just meeting with somebody face to face, ask questions, get them engaged, because when it becomes not just a one-way conversation, but it's a two-way conversation, people become a lot more engaged, and they're much more likely to feel like they've built a real relationship with you. And again, this is going to lead them to become your super fan, right? And so when we get others involved, and we don't just make it about us, but we make it about all of us together, right? Me, you, everyone. That's what's going to help lead us to getting to that, to creating superfans. And again, that's the goal of the book. That's why we're talking about this, is because that's from the book that we were reading today. So this one kind of overlaps a little bit, but I'll talk about it again just briefly. Storytelling for transformation. And so you can use compelling stories to show transformation that your product or your service brings. So if you have a company and you have or a product or a service that you're selling, you can use these transformation stories as a great way. Again, stories do sell, but you can use these as a great way to build those relationships and even get people to engage with your business and buy the products and services that you have to offer. So and that was the storytelling for transformation. This next tip from Pat Flynn is quick wins. And I love this one. I've actually seen this as an overlapping theme in a lot of the books that I was reading this week. And so when I'm going through and I'm reading books, I'm always looking, okay, where are the overlapping themes from these, successful people? Maybe not everybody that publishes a book, that doesn't necessarily make them a successful person. But right now I'm kind of reading a lot of the books that have been voted up by the world as these are books from successful people, right? So I'm kind of coming into it with that bias that I feel like they're probably a little bit more on the successful side. But so when I'm reading through all these books, I'm looking for what are the commonalities. And I think that this is one, which is quick wins. And so we want to offer small, quick wins to build trust and demonstrate immediate value. And so, for example, I was reading a financial book this week, and one of the things that they were doing, trying to get me, the reader, to do is to start by saving a very small amount of money, 1% of my income, and setting it aside into another account. And the reason why he was suggesting that we do this in the book is because, is that 1% going to make me or anyone rich? No, absolutely not. But what it does is it gets us into the movement and into the action of actually working toward something. So when it comes to building a following of superfans, if we can find ways to give them quick wins, whether with our products and services or whether just quick wins in our community altogether, this is what's going to help build those relationships and nurture them even further so that they can become, again, more loyal superfans for our followings. Now, the next tip from Superfans is personal touch in communication. And Pat Flynn talks about how, especially when he was starting out, that he would respond to every email, comment, message inside of social media. And he really did everything he absolutely could to make sure that he was personally engaging with people that were engaging with him. And this is a great way to build your initial base of superfans, is just by if you post something online and somebody comments or sends you a message about something, get back to him. Say, thanks for that. Tell me a little bit more about what you're doing. What do you got going on? right? And when we go from making it just about us and we actually engage in those conversations, and now it's about all of us together, again, that's what's going to help lead us to building a base of superfans. Okay, so personal touch and communication. Now, build a connected community. Community is becoming more and more important. I think it's always been here, but it's also been a little bit of a topic that has been talked about quite a bit more as of recently. And so foster a sense of community among your audience by encouraging interaction and support. And so if you are not only just putting out content, but maybe fostering and putting together a community. There's a new company that's come out, and there's lots of these little companies that have come up, but it's called School. And what it is it's kind of like, Facebook, what do they call them? Facebook groups, but it's kind of like Facebook groups on steroids, and it's like specifically for community. And it's great, right? So you can have people join up in the community. You can post inside of the community. You can message other members in the community. You can actually have a course create like training things that are unlocked for people that are engaging in the community. So anyway, whether you're doing it through a system like that or whether you're doing it in another way, but going not just for obtaining the followers, but creating a space where you and your superfans can all talk and communicate together is a great way for, again, building those relationships and getting your initial set of superfans. Okay. And then, so the next one is to inject personality into branding, right? And so again, I think this kind of overlaps a little bit, but I think it's also important. When you're sitting down with somebody, when you're making a video, when you're doing a sales call, the initial thing that I think a lot of us feel is that, shoot, we need to put on this different facade and become a different person. Right. And that couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth, because being yourself is why people got on that sales call in the first place. Right. And so using your personality and actually making it a part of your personal brand is going to be something that's super helpful. At least that's what Pat Flynn seems to think in his book, Superfans. Okay. And then the last little thing before I kind of wrap up with a little conclusion here is exclusive content and access. So he was talking about in the book how he would put together these big events, and what he would also do is he would set up like a VIP section for people that either registered early or they had to do something basically to get into that VIP room, and people love that. And so if you're creating stuff, one of the things that I've been thinking about doing is doing like a weekly or a bi-weekly or a monthly live call with anybody that I know that wants to hop on it and just talk about business, books, like whatever's going on, problems in life. And that's a great way to connect with other people and, again, build out the community. And so that was number 10. Okay. So the conclusion basically here is to focus on quality over quantity. You don't have to have this crazy, massive, big following in order to make an impact, make a change. You can do it today, and you can start small, and you can grow it over time. We just want to be looking, are we actually making a difference, and are we making progress, right? It doesn't matter these vanity metrics like views, likes, subscribers, followers, that sort of thing. That's not going to be as important. What's going to be important is when you send out an email to your list, do you get people replying back that are saying, hey, I got your email. I watched your video. Thanks for sending that. I have a problem that's going on, and this is what it is. What do you think about this? Are you getting that level of engagement? Because only a super fan, to use the term from the book, is going to be doing something like that, right? A mere follower is going to get the email, probably delete it without looking at it, or look at it and delete it without reading it, right? That's kind of the difference between a super fan and just a follower of some sort. Okay, so quality over quantity. Super fans will actively promote and advocate for your brand. So that's another benefit to if you are engaging in creating this list of super fans. These people are going to help promote you. They're going to share your content, your videos, your emails, your company, whatever it is that you're doing, they're going to share that with other people and advocate on your behalf. And so there's just so many benefits to engaging and not just having followers, but having a group of people that become super fans. And then lastly is that long-term success is built on deep, meaningful connections. And I'll start with the first word, which is long-term, right? Things take a while to grow. Sometimes we might do an action over and over and over again. And we might do it for a year or two, and we might not really see a whole lot of progress, right? And the temptation comes to quit and to give up. And I'm not going to lie, I have quit and give up before in the past. But if I could share one thing of encouragement, not as me telling you what to do by any means, but just a thing of encouragement is to consider to keep pushing and keep going, because anything that is worth having in the long term usually takes quite a bit of work and a lot of consistency. So hang in there, keep going. And then remember, it's not just about vanity metrics. So for this long-term success, it's not about views, likes, followers, stuff like that. That's not what matters. It's not even about getting customers. It's about getting customers that love you and they share your products and your services with all their friends. It's about having somebody reply back to your email and say, thanks for sending this to me. I really enjoyed watching it, right? And I got a lot of value from it. And people that are looking to connect with you, right? These are the things that we want, because if we can build, and there's a lot of people out there who, not just Pat Flynn, but a lot of people out there that actually agree with this and talk about it as well too. So, if you're just getting started, I'm excited for you. I don't know what you got going on. I'd love to hear a little bit from you. If you're starting a business, if you're building up your personal brand, whatever it is, let me know. I'd love to hear kind of what you got going on with your story. And so it's Superfans by Pat Flynn. Feel free to check it out. You can get it on Amazon. Maybe the library might have it. I'm not exactly sure, but thanks guys for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.